good to see you all on this lovely Tuesday. I have an amazing guest with me. Her name is Luce, and I'm bringing her on. Hi.
Third time in a week.
Oh, I know, right?
Never get too much time with you on the internet.
I love it. I am so excited to actually try my hand at some mobile development. We'll see. So the goal for all of those watching, tuning in, was for me to do the latest type of mobile development on my Mac. And I'm trying to get Maui to build to Android. I'm getting one of these. Let me go ahead and just show you all. I was like, while the countdown was going, I was reading because I googled the good old Google, right? Ensure that Android section of the Visual Studio options has a valid Java SDK. So I was just like, yeah, this Stack Overflow looks promising. What everyone does.
That's
right
old Visual Studio though, and that's not for Mac.
Oh,
it's a special kind of beast.
So I'm completely wrong on all accounts.
Not necessarily. It's just it might not apply. It's okay. We'll find a way. We'll either do Maui or we'll do Xamarin. Either way, you're gonna write some mobile today, and that's the important thing.
I love that. Okay, so I did a couple of prepping bits. I downloaded this. Do we need this?
Okay.
Is this something we want in our life?
Maybe. I don't know whether we actually need 2022.
Oh,
try it.
So
have you got .NET 6 installed?
I do have .NET 6. I didn't do 2022 because it said preview, and my friend Sam, who was telling me I should be able to build Maui to Android, he was saying that don't get preview, and I don't know why.
Okay, I trust Sam on these matters. Sam has been a well-known Xamarin face for a very long time.
Let me show. So this is what I know about mobile development / .NET development. I have these. I have the power of.
Move your other browser window across StreamYard's creeping into the image.
This? Oh yes. I usually keep. You're talking about this over here.
Yes. I
usually keep this up so that chat can all see the chat. You see what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Okay, I was just making sure it's deliberate.
But I know about. I've got the ability, Maker, and I'm just gonna be like test to make new apps, and this is how I do it. And I'm sure this is totally not how you do it, but I'm like, .NET new Maui, yeah, sure, that sounds good. Or Maui Blazor, and then it makes that app for me, and then I can build that by doing this to we'll say desktop, right? Like Mac Catalyst, and then I build it, and then I'm writing the code, and I use the Visual Studio Code. But you're saying if we can't get the building to Android working with Maui, that we would just use Xamarin. So how does that differ from this normal workflow? Do we?
Okay, so one of the things, I mean, we'll try with Maui. It's just that I'm a hobbyist, so I've only ever done it for Windows because that I was told was the easiest route, and so that's what I know. So we're learning as we go. I have a dev.to article up on my phone about this, so we've got help. But yeah, so basically one of the cool things, so historically with Xamarin, it's been separate away from what we call the .NET templates, the templating engine. So, you've got .NET New, core, web app, all those options. Xamarin couldn't do that, but what's cool about Maui is they brought it into a templating engine. So where you've just done .NET New Maui, that's an option, but with Xamarin isn't. You have to just make Visual Studio new project.
Okay, so you're saying I need to go to this guy?
Not necessarily. No, we haven't rolled out Maui yet. We haven't given up yet.
Oh, you're not scared. Okay, so we see that it built to desktop. We see that. Are you ready to see it break?
To be fair,
epically?
Mac Catalyst is still part of the Maui mobile space, because when you create, for example, on Windows with Visual Studio 2022 Preview, when you create a new Maui project, it gives you as platforms iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac Catalyst. So one could argue that you've just run a Maui app. It's just that you ran it on a desktop platform and not a mobile, but it could run on a mobile if you wanted it to. If you change that to iOS, it might work.
I think this
I think you have to give it a device name as well, though, which you can grab from.
Oh, so because I've just been saying Android, but how do I know the targets? Is there a? I just have.
There's probably documentation. To be fair,
let's see.
The Maui documentation is pretty good.
Make users. Okay. Build to different targets Maui. Let's find out. I thought it was just Android. The only two that I know for sure work, I've got this doc called learning.net with tidbits.
Beautiful.
And it has, so I know that, yes, you're right. Dash iOS will work. Dash Mac Catalyst will work. So Dash iOS is like for an iPhone app. Yeah.
Yes, I think if you do that, though, it might look for a real device. I mean, it might have upped. We can try it and see. What you might need to do is give it a device ID for the simulator, but Xcode will tell you that. So we haven't given up yet.
And then I'm going to look for, let's see, I want to like a list of these. Configure multiple targeting. No.
Yeah, we don't
Build
want
.NET MAUI. Hang on. Build to Android MAUI on Mac. And I'm just going to like Command F build. Build. Let's make this bigger.
Yeah, you can just do, you just need to have an emulator running before you run it on Android. But if you've got an emulator running, let's do it.
An emulator run. You're saying words, Luce. You're saying
okay. So
what are you saying?
Basically, it's okay. So the words. So on Android, it's called an emulator. On iOS, it's called a simulator. Which sounds scary, but basically, you don't need to have a physical device plugged in for the platform that you want to run on. It comes built in with the right tools installed. You can have simulators that you can run already. So then it will deploy it to that. So it's like having a real phone, but you just don't need one, and then people can see your screen and stuff. So it's a lot easier when you're developing and don't need to faff around. Because if we did it with a physical device, for example, you'd have to not only connect up your phone, but also have it so that people can see your phone. So when you're playing with the app, people can see what you're doing.
It's always so incredibly angry with me. Like, do you see this anger? What are you saying at the very top? Root element is missing. This is when I tried to do the iOS one.
Okay. System.
I think your root element is missing, sir. It's a window. A window Android is running in.
Yeah.
Said Lightjack. So if I went this route, and I said new.
You could even open the one you just created, probably. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's open. I actually made in development, I made one called Mobile with Luce. And that one, wait, do I have to like choose the solution for it to open?
But if you made it, it's maybe the .NET templating engine. It won't have a solution out of the box. Oh, yeah, I've got a solution. Yeah, try it. See what happens. Try it and see, right? This
looks terrifying.
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't. This is one of the few things that doesn't scare me.
Do you know how to change resolution? I want to do that real quick.
Yes.
Resolution? This one?
Display.
I just want it to be mother flipping massive. I go like smaller, right? To make it bigger?
Yeah.
I think. Okay, let's see if this breaks everything. Is it super blurry for you guys? Is this better for like reading? Okay.
It looks okay from here. I mean, VS Maximal, but thankfully, unlike on Windows, you could do Command+ and it will zoom in.
Oh, so that's I locked myself out of my computer. Ugh, okay. Let's see. I want to see if I could try to get. I wanted to get the Visual Studio or the Visual. Yeah, it's called Visual Studio. I wanted to see if we could get him to be comfortably large.
That's what Command+ will do. It will zoom in.
Command+ on this guy?
It will just zoom in on everything.
He's a desktop guy. Command+ doesn't do anything.
I can't see your screen, so I can't see what's happening. But
you can't see it? Am I not sharing anymore? Did it like stop screen sharing once I?
It did.
Okay, sorry everybody. I'm gonna share again. I promise it'll be awesome. Share screen.
All right.
Do it.
And I believe in us.
Skill.
yeah. So don't worry about this. I meant you can do Command+ on Visual Studio to zoom in. So if that's the only thing you care about being bigger, just do it on.
No, Command+ isn't doing anything on this. Like I will show you right now. I'm doing Command++++++. It doesn't work for desktop apps. Like I've tried this before and it doesn't.
It normally does. How rude. If not, we can. If you go into Click Visual Studio on the top left.
Visual Studio.
And go to Preferences. Fonts. Few lines up.
Ooh. Can I change this to massive? 24. Yep. Yes. Thank you. Wait. Just drop it. Everybody gets 24. And we will all deal with it and love it. And we'll all be like, thank you, Alyssa. And I'll be like, you're welcome, family. Okay, here we go. And I guess it'll like keep this forever. So
there you go.
24 is small. Oh my word.
It's not. It's not small. You're being trolled.
Do you hear the ridiculously I'm being told right now? All right.
Yeah, I think you're being trolled, but.
Oh, you think? Because you're like, don't do 36.
I mean, 36 is probably excessive. 24 would have done, but you can put 36 if you like. The trolls suffer because they can't see the Explorer properly.
Well, see, hopefully if I do this, like how you told me, now I can go back to the normal resolution and it won't be blurry for you all as the goal. So let me go try to share and then we can. So I did open. Oh, am I still sharing? Share screen?
You were until you stopped.
Share. Okay. So I did open this app that I made and it is a Maui bit. So I don't know if we. Okay. What the flip is all this nonsense? Have you seen this before?
No idea. No, ProGod I think is an Android thing, but again, Mac and Maui are very much in their infancy. That's why I normally just do Windows because it's pain free.
Because it's pain free. I want to try doing something with just Xamarin. So I want to do a new project, but then I don't know.
Yep. So you can see on the left, you got the different subheadings, right? You want multi-platform.
App?
Yep.
I guess. Blank app.
Then you want a blank app? Yeah. Do a blank app.
And then we're going to say for real. How do you name these things? Like, do you do capitals or camel cases or what?
I tend to what would it be? I don't know. I capitalize, but it's not the end of the world. It's up to you because you can.
I just don't want people to like look at my Xamarin app and be like, "That looks JavaScripty," you know, because like my name and content. So I'm like, what do you do in this world? Is it usually caps?
The first like camel case, I think. But
yeah,
like,
I think this is,
and without dashes and stuff. But you do you.
Oh, no dashes. Oh, okay. Mobile with. See, I don't know these things. I need you here to like make me not look like a fool. Okay, and then on the company name, does this matter?
No, I mean, basically all that is that say you stick it on like the App Store or something, it will just identify you, but you can always change it later in settings.
You can. Okay, cool.
We're only learning, so I wouldn't worry too much.
And then this location, can I put it in my developed folder?
You absolutely can. If that's where you want to save it, that's where you can put it.
Cool. And then use get for version control. Do I select this now?
Nope,
like,
don't fix that. No, leave that. Don't need it. We can add Git later on, but from what I remember, the Git for version control starts to do weird things that not weird, it's opinionated, whereas it's easier to just initialize the Git repo from command line like we used to.
Lightjack said it's included in the package name, I think. So if it's installed, it would be like com.lightjack.myapp. Okay. I'm excited. I'm getting my app developer license this week, so I can go ahead and like start deploying to the App Store.
I mean,
I don't. Do you? How do you
jump through some hoops with Apple? But yeah.
Yeah, I like want to be able to do it to like all the platforms. So like for Android, do you also have to buy a license? Like, what's the rules?
Android, you can deploy to the Play Store for free. Apple's just slightly more.
How long does it take usually?
See, honestly, I've never deployed an app, so I can't tell you because I don't finish anything.
I'm so excited! I'm gonna be like, what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it today. Okay, so how do I've got this?
It takes a little bit of hoop jumping to deploy things to the actual App Store.
Okay.
I think maybe to deploy might cost money. Okay, yeah, Lightjack might be right. It's one of those things, you get to a point you have to make the release versions. You have to sign it. So it's basically you make a certificate that then says this was made by me. This is more for Apple than Android, but you have to make a sign certificate that says it's made by me, and then in future, if you want to make any updates to the app, you then provide the same certificate to say like, hey, you know, proof this is made by me. I'm allowed to update this thing. So there's a lot of
Lightjack was saying that it's like a one-time payment instead of the $100 a year. So that is a big difference.
True.
Wow. Okay. So this is really interesting. I've never seen Xamarin. They're asking what's up today. Napalm he just joined. Hi, Napalm. Luce the Beautiful is teaching me mobile development. I have like forced her hand, and she has to now watch me do it on Mac.
That's okay.
Got him.
Hey, we're doing Xamarin, not Maui right now, and that's absolutely fine on a Mac. We're good. So, and you not forced my hand. We're just hanging out. It's great.
Okay, so I'm looking at. I made a multi-platform app, which, you know, honestly to me sounds like I made a Maui app because like it's multi-platform. So like that's weird and confusing. I assume this is like
I'll explain that one in a minute. Okay,
and then now I'm looking at this, and it looks absolutely nothing like Visual Studio Code. So I'm a little like, okay, where do you go from here?
Okay, what am I looking at? Don't be too scared. Don't be too scared. So MAUI stands for Multi-Application User Interface. So it's the evolution of Xamarin.Forms. So what we're learning at the moment is really good and useful fundamentals. But what's happening with MAUI is they've basically gone, right, okay, the stuff with Xamarin.Forms that's great, but could be better. Like, you know, we want to make a load of improvements. So MAUI will be this, but better, basically.
So it's like, weird that whenever we chose to make a new project, are you saying that what I'm looking at is Xamarin.Forms right now?
Yes.
Because it's weird that like it didn't say make a new Xamarin.Forms project. It said make a new multi-platform project. So, like, why is Xamarin.Forms not in the title?
On the left of the submenus, it was multi-platform app. But when you clicked into it, in the little boxes that you filled out when you picked it, it did say Xamarin.Forms in brackets.
Okay. I gotcha.
It's coming to Mac eventually. I think when I found out when is under NDA, so I can't say too much. But basically, it's no secret that Visual Studio for Mac, it doesn't have feature parity with Windows because the numbers of people using it are just minuscule compared to Windows. So they prioritize Windows.
Right.
So we could do Xamarin on Mac. It's just MAUI's a little bit behind from a mobile perspective.
Yeah, it does. They're like Jack's agreeing that it VS for Mac looks so different. It does. So I'm looking, I want to do like mobile, and so I'm gonna like click on this Android-y bit. Oh god, packages.
Okay, right. Don't worry. I'm gonna talk you through it first. Put the mouse down. I'm gonna talk you through it first. Otherwise, if you just click around to random files, you just intimidate yourself. So we're going to talk through it first. I'm going to gently take your hand and walk you through it. There's no need to be scared. So what you've got here, right, is 3 projects. So you've got what's called the shared project, which is that one at the top that doesn't have a .android or .ios suffix.
Yeah.
And that is
T for desktop? No.
Nope, it's just shared code. So basically, the whole point of Xamarin and Xamarin in general, not just Xamarin.Forms, which is shared UI, is about reducing the amount of times you have to duplicate your code for each platform you're targeting. So traditionally, if you want to do an Android app, you'd have to load Android Studio, write Java or Kotlin, and do all that.
Yeah.
Then, in iOS, you'd have to do Objective-C or Swift and Xcode. Whereas what Xamarin's done is gone, hey, we're going to give you a wrapper around all of it, so you only have to write the C# that you know, and then we'll take care of deploying it to that platform under the hood.
So is there such thing as Xamarin.Forms for desktop though? Like that's not a thing. Like that only came about with MAUI? Kind
of. So basically out of the box, when you create a new project, the platforms it targets are Android and iOS. If you're on Windows, when you create a new project, it will create your Windows UWP project as well. So Universal Windows Platform, which technically is Windows Desktop, HoloLens, Xbox, anything that runs UWP, basically.
I didn't know Xbox runs UWP.
It does. You can technically deploy, if you get the developer app installed on Xbox, set it a developer thing and hook them up. Yeah, you could technically shove your Xamarin app on your Xbox.
So that Xamarin.Forms, I've heard really good things. about, because like as I've learned .NET and this in this community, learning everything about the .NET world, I've like heard good and bad things and lots of politics with different things, but like I've heard really good things about Xamarin.Forms, and I've heard really good things about UWP. So like, are people sad to see the next evolution of Xamarin.Forms? Like, is that, or are people excited?
So on the whole, excited, because people who just target UWP are a small subset, and so it uses the XAML tags, but it's a slightly different dialect, because XAML is just markup. And so UWP, if you're just targeting UWP, you tend to get, you know, their own little niche of people. In terms of people who are loyal Xamarin.Forms developers, MAUI is very exciting, because some of the things that are complicated, it makes more difficult. So I like XAML because CSS gives me nightmares, and XAML means I don't have to. Now,
I can't. You could show me how to do some UI here, right? Oh my god, I can't wait.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get you writing a counter app by the end of this. I just want to explain the basics of what you can see here before you get scared, and then we'll write code.
Okay, so we had the shared code, we have the Android code.
So you've got the shared code at the top. So 95% of all the code that you write will happen in that shared project at the top. What those other platforms are for are for,
like, if you have to write something specific for that platform.
Yeah. So they're there because technically, if you went into their starting point, you know how every app has a, you know, like the entry point, which is the first place the code goes to look about what to do. With the platforms out of the box, Xamarin just tells you to create a new version of the app class that's a subclass of that app.xaml. So you don't have to touch the platforms out of the box. If you click the little down arrow, the yellow arrow next to the app.xaml to expand it out, you'll see the app.xaml.cs. So XAML gets broken down into 2 bits, basically. And so, literally all you're doing is creating a new main page, which links to that main page.xaml you can see. So out of the box, it's just saying, hey, use this UI page. And then at a platform level, don't even need to worry about the CS. At this point, the XAML is the tags that basically describes in blocks how it should look. It'll make more sense in a minute when we go through it, I promise.
Oh, I see. I was like, how do I open the XAML file? You just get it double click.
Yeah. So out of the box, you've got this main page straight away that's got some default text in there that you could run immediately and see it on screen. And so you don't have to worry about the platform levels. Where Xamarin.Forms gets more complicated with the platform stuff is not just, I want it to look slightly different on each platform, make a custom version of, say, a button that runs on that platform. But that's advanced stuff, don't worry about that. There's also things like, I've got images. So if you want to use images in your app at the moment with Xamarin.Forms, you have to stick the versions of the images in the right sizes, in the right folders at platform level, which is a real pain. And so that's one of the things that's super, super, super exciting about MAUI, is that they've solved that problem. So you would have seen in a MAUI application, there's just a resources folder with images, and you just stick them in and it does all the work. So like Xamarin.Forms developers are hyped about MAUI because some of the things that are difficult, like shared images, it takes care of for you.
Napalm was asking, how do you figure out how to do something in XAML? The docs are not the easiest to come by.
They're a hell of a lot easier to come by than writing UI in code.
C potato. Oh my god, that's like a really old one. What am I looking at? Do I need Xcode for this?
Nope.
Why is X? Oh, can I close it?
Xcode likes to run sometimes because it installs extra command line tools and then opens itself afterwards.
Oh, I understand. Thank
you. It's a bit of a like disease.
How do you make it wrap so that it's not horozontally scrolling? Preferences.
Possibly
visual style.
Be text editor, I think. If you go down, there's a subsection called text editor. There you go. There's word wrap. I don't know if that's what you want. There you go.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, I can't scroll horizontally. There's the XAML controls gallery in the store. That's kind of neat. So we are looking at this. You said this is going to be the main page, and this XAML is what builds out the UI. Yep. Do I also put logic here?
Yeah. So So basically each XAML page will create in 2 bits. You'll get the XAML, which is the actual like user interface definition to these little tags here that, you know, you got labels and stuff. That's quite, you know, at least semi-obvious names. And then you've got the code behind. So that's the XAML.cs file. So that's just if you want to start doing the behavior to link them together. So we'll get to that. That's where we're going to do some counting.
Do you know how to make this look like pink and pony-ish and rainbowy and not like...
Yeah, just go into Visual
4th
Studio.
of July.
I don't know if you can do themes in Visual Studio. I think you can for Mac.
Is it preferences?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I haven't used Mac in a long time.
Text editor color theme. Ooh. Oh. I will choose this one because it looks pleasant. Okay. So we've got... How do you build? Can I build with my terminal?
Nope, don't need your terminal for this. Terminal's all part of the Maui magic. We don't get that at this point.
Oh, so like you don't actually, it's not like you have the option to do it, like you need to do it here.
No, you can do it from inside Visual Studio.
So I press this play button?
Yep. And it should take you through a nice little okay.
Wait, what? Running this project requires an
Android
Android
it's because you see an Android simulator, but that's what I was about to say. I'm curious to see what the onboarding experience is like on a Mac, whether it goes, hey, you need to create one of these.
Does F5 work? F5. Oh, you're for the building?
I think it might be. I think it's Command Enter on a Mac.
I'll try it on the next one. because Lightjack, whenever I first installed Visual Studio this morning, and then it was like I was like walking through it, asked me if I wanted to do hotkeys for either like Visual Studio for Mac, or you could choose like windowy hotkeys, or you could even choose Visual Studio Code hotkeys to work. So I don't know if F5 works. I chose the Visual Studio for Mac. Running this project requires an Android device. Yes, you keep telling me that. I don't.
Right, click cancel. So there you go. So now it's giving you the option to create an emulator. So you want to create one.
Ooh, how do we do this? Let's just see.
Quite easily. Click new device. And then you can either leave the default, or what I do is untick that Google Play Store box. Google Play Store.
It's like acting. Oh, there it goes. Okay. And the Google APIs, I don't do that either.
No. We're just do basic emulators. You just click create.
Accept.
Just accept. You'll just have to download some bits and pieces, and it will run, and then you'll have an emulator to play with. Which, interestingly, once the emulator's running, you might find that Maui will run for Android.
Okay. Oh. You know what? You might be right. These might be those pieces, because Sam was telling me that I needed to install Visual Studio for Mac with the Xamarin so that I have all the bits and pieces so that Maui can do Android builds. But you're right. This might be what I was missing.
You had the bits already. I think it was just that from what I read from that dev.to article, it says before building the Android app, start an emulator. So
you're so smart. Okay. I bet you anything that will fix it.
But we'll come back to that. We'll just see if we can get this working for now. We can always do a part 2 where we do Maui. So it's just unzipping that emulator. So should we go?
I'm trying to swap to a different resolution, because things like this, I'm sure, are like impossible to read, like on the stream. But there it goes. I was like, but my Mac is all being like, what do you want from me? Okay, here we go. Invalid emulator component. Android emulator component is missing or incomplete. Therefore, the device could not be created.
Why is it incomplete?
I'm gonna. There's a reinstall button, so I'm gonna see if that fixes it. Also,
if not, don't worry. There's a couple of things we can do.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in the middle. Tell me, chat, if this is like way worse.
Seems okay.
Because I made the font or the resolution big, so it might be blurry for you all.
The resolution of the emulator anyway is 1920 by 1080. Well, technically 1080 by 1920 because you want it to be taller than you want wider, but it will look okay when it runs, if it runs.
When it runs, we will speak positively into the universe.
I'm just trying to be a realist. Like I love Mac, absolutely love Mac, and a lot of my apps that I've done on Xamarin.Forms I've written on a Mac. But I have to be honest, because not as many people use Visual Studio for Mac, and if they do, they're hobbyists and aren't paying Microsoft. They don't put as much work into it, which I totally understand from a business perspective. It's just a little bit more painful sometimes.
Hello? Hello? Can you see this? Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can.
I'm going to double check my settings real quick. Scarlett.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. It said your browser has lost access to your mic, so I just want to make sure. So this is a thing that's in our life.
Yeah.
now.
So you've got the emulator running now. So now you could literally go into Visual Studio and run it, and it should deploy it to that emulator, and then it'll just pop up on the screen that you can interact with.
So the emulator running is not necessarily the app running. I gotcha.
No, because it was the first time you set it up, it probably didn't automatically deploy to it. It would have just.
Trying to get this small and out of the way because I can't see this. So I want to do this. Wait, how do I? Wait, this guy.
Is it deployed already? It's hard to tell.
How do I? Hold on.
Size
Updates
36 font is not where it's at.
I know. Let me go change it. Actually, so things
it
are
might be
weird.
deploying. If you.
Oh, you think it might already be doing it?
Yeah. Well, if you see, there's that select device box at the back. Oh, it's just disappeared now. That was there.
This?
No, it was a different. It was a separate box.
Because I pressed play on this device.
Yeah, that's running. Don't worry about that. That's just Android Device Manager. What's that
could
one?
Not automatically detect.
Oh, just click OK on that. We can always fix that.
Is it actually letting me? No, it's still not letting me choose things. I'm going to close this and then see if visual. Yeah, there it goes. So preferences. Let's go ahead and change the. Where was it? Visual style? No.
Fonts under environment.
Thank you.
It's okay.
18. What do you want?
Yeah, 18 should do. Yeah, Android is the slowest the first time it runs, so we're going to have to put some patience in, but that's okay. iOS is a much nicer experience, to be fair.
Okay, that's so much better because now I can read things. But wait, we were doing something running. Press play. I press play on you.
This might take too long. We'll switch to iOS, but I want to show you. I'm going to show you another magic trick once we've got both simulators running as well. You can deploy to both at the same time.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up this buddy. It's complaining about ADB. Maybe it can't connect without ADB. Maybe.
It was just having an auto-detect box, but we can always select it if necessary.
Is my phone off? Is that why there's a black screen? What's up with my phone?
Possibly, but it's also saying it's starting the Pixel too, so it might just be a case. You can always just press the on/off button in the top right.
Napalm. Napalm said, "What kind of super PC do you need to do to have do them both at the same time?"
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for heavy apps, but I've given an intro to Xamarin and cognitive services talk hundreds, probably close to 50 times, and I've always just dual run both at the same time.
Okay, so I want to make a button. So what I'm going to do is go here,
we'll get there.
And I want to go while that's running, and I want to, oops, that's not what I wanted. I want this one. Wow. Why are you being weird to me? I want to do this smaller. No, we'll just do this. And then say button Xamarin.Forms question mark. Is that this guy? And then where's the code? Okay, so label button. What's up with a label? Why are they showing me a label? Is that part of making a button? What's up
no, they're just giving you full code snippet example. So that whole content page is literally the whole thing in the file. So you only need the button part, but it's just giving you a full. Because there's normally two trains of thought when it comes to giving you code snippets. It's either just giving you the very specific bit that you need, or giving you the whole thing so you can see what bits you actually care about.
Oh, actually, I want to do a different thing. Can I, under this stack layout, make a flex layout?
Nope.
Why is it not auto-completing?
Flex layout isn't a Like, what's a flex layout to you?
Flex layout is a thing. Let me show you. I just assumed it. They layout item.
I mean, maybe flex layout exists. I've never really tried it.
Where is it? There. I don't know. It's a thing, and it has a layout, and it does things. I don't know.
What does it look like?
But it's not auto-completing. Scroll down more. Oh, to
it
the
would have
view.
auto-completed. It's just you didn't have an opening tag.
Oh, you think so? Hang on, let me try. Flex.
And it also might be because it's in the middle of building.
Layout.
But you see, it's supposed to be in a tag. You've not got the like. There you go. There you go. Now it works. You just needed a tag.
Still don't have a closing tag. I thought it would make it for me.
It might do normally, but because I'm in the middle of trying to build.
Oh, there it goes. We got it. And I'm going to paste my button. Click to rotate text. Oh, that sounds like it's not going to work out of the box. Oh, it's complaining.
Prompted content. Yeah, you can't have more than one layout in a content page. So basically, if you wanted to flex layout, you just need to stick it inside that stack layout so that you've only got one outer layout.
Is it kind of like only one root element is allowed in this component? Is it kind of like that logic?
Pretty much, yeah.
Shift.
Oh, that's React, isn't it?
It's Angular. Well, is it React?
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe it's like a lot. We'll just say it's a lot of weird JavaScript.
That's why everything gets wrapped in like an empty div sometimes in React. I don't know. I feel like we need to do like .NET in a JS world next, and you need to teach me just all this stuff.
Yes, I'll be like, so here's a component in Angular, and let's do some CSS, and you'll be like, no.
So you're not allowed to teach me Angular because my colleague of mine at work is a Google developer expert for Angular, and so I've told her that she needs to teach me.
Oh my god, which one? I'm a GDE. Who is it?
Oh, Stanimir Vlieva.
That's awesome. I need you to.
Mira's great, but yeah, no, I'll get Mira to come teach me Angular. So I was sat in a talk about Angular at NDC Oslo, and I messaged Mira and I was like, yeah, you're going to teach me this. It's dark magic.
Is your screen cap on your PC so laggy? Maybe. Is it because I changed the resolution? I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know. Okay, so this is.
I mean, Android isn't great, but.
Everyone knows it should be React in an Angular world. Okay, I'm going to close. Actually, you know what?
The only React I do in my life is feelings.
I'm going to go ahead and CD. I made a project called Mobile with Luce. Mobile? Why are you CD to mobile with Luce? And then I want to go say .NET, and I'm going to try to run this again.
I would hold off on that at the moment because it's not finished trying to deploy to Visual Studio, and so you don't know if it'll clash.
Okay. You're like, do not run multiple things.
It's more that I don't know what will happen if you try to do both. So it might just end up either breaking one of them, both of them, or giving you errors that are confusing. The first time Android builds, it takes forever. That's not Xamarin's fault. That's Google's fault, which is the way Android works under the hood. But it just takes a while. You can always stop it in Visual Studio if you want to try it in Maui. It won't kill the emulator.
Wait, you want me to? You said a lot of things. What do you?
So basically, if you want to try Maui, it won't turn off the emulator if you just go into Visual Studio and press the stop button.
You want me to press the stop button like that?
Yeah.
It's not stopping. It's still spinning. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, it can take a minute.
Okay.
Don't forget that you've got a simulator running and you're live streaming, sharing your screen. Like, it's going to be resource intensive.
Is it? Oh, it's still mad. Well, it's warning me because, see, I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. That's just that we need to go into Visual Studio options and tell Android where your Java JDK lives.
Oh, yeah, of course, because that sounds so easy.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, I'll give all credit to that warning message. It did actually tell you what you need to do.
So I mean, if you know what the Visual Studios is, this is what Mac I have. Studio. People were asking. They wanted to know. Okay. If I go to Visual Studio and then I do options? No.
Preferences.
And then...
And if you...
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, it might be further down. Like not in here, but further down the options here. I can't remember where it lives.
Hang on, let me go look at the error again. An exception occurred, blah, blah, blah. Visual Studio Options has a valid Java SDK configured.
Yeah, there's an Android thing where you point stuff at it. It might be if you click the is it build?
Build, looking for build.
Under projects, it's build, second one down. No. Oh, yeah, it might be external tools above projects. Last one in the top section. Up, down, there you go. No, it's not that. So under Xamarin, it's on the left, further down, there was a Xamarin entry. I'm not sure if you need to click. You can always Google this. This is Mac for you. If you click Tools for Xamarin, that heading won't take you to anything. That's usually further down, right at the bottom. There you go. No, it's not that one. Oh, let's find what it is. So, Visual Studio format.
Options. I feel like there's going to be like an options thing, not, let's see, project run, version control.
Maybe.
Help, JDK.
Try it.
SDK manager.
Possibly. So, does it have anything installed? Yeah, it's got 9 and 11 installed because it's giving you sizes. Go to the Tools tab because you've got the 3 tabs there: Platforms, Tools, and Locations, and then try Locations. Oh. Yeah, so you've given it. Yeah, you've given it. It knows where the SDK is and the Java SDK is. So I don't know what's going on with that.
And we don't care about this one.
Nope. That's like SDKs on steroids. I can't remember the difference, but you really don't need it.
Can I press? Okay, so remember how I pressed the stop button, but then it like.
Yeah. Go to build.
How do I press?
Menu right at the top, on the top.
Start again. Build all.
And then
rebuild all.
No,
clean
stop.
all. Stop.
Nope, stop. It does this sometimes. We should have just done iOS. It's quicker.
I can if we can ever get it to stop. Do I need?
You might just have to.
Do I need to like hard kill it?
Just force quit Visual Studio. Yeah.
Okay. Visual Studio force quit. Force quit. And that will force quit everything else that's running, like the emulator and stuff?
Nope. Just Visual Studio. But that's okay. We don't need to force quit those.
I don't?
No. The emulator wasn't the problem. Visual Studio was just having a meltdown. That's okay. It's Tuesday evening for me. It's been a hard day.
Oh. Visual Studio agrees.
Yeah, it's not been a hard day for me. I've exercised and done some work, but
what'd you do? Did you go running? What'd you do?
No, I'm not running yet. I took a break. So I'm doing challenges where every month of this year I pick up a new challenge each month. So January I did 2,022 press ups in a month. February I took cold showers every day because it's supposed to trigger the dopamine. It's good for ADHD. Spoiler
Did it help? Did it help? It didn't help?
Not really.
I was like, because I can totally get on board with that one if I need to.
It might work for some people, but then stimulants don't work on me, so I'm just a bit of an anomaly. But then March was March for March, so I did 5,000 steps every day in March, apart from the last 2 because I got too sick. And then this month is Active April, so I'm doing Apple Fitness Plus classes every day.
Yay, that's awesome. What was
well, maybe not every day, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, just because you've got to give your body rest time. But I took a dance class yesterday. That was fun.
I know.
So yeah, so you see on the left,
iOS.
Yeah. So you see how here you've got the next. There you go, that one. You can click iOS in the drop down, and then it might be like, hey, what?
Oh no! Oh, it's angry because my button isn't legit. Heaven's
that's okay.
sake.
We can solve that. So if you go back into the code behind for that main page .xaml.cs.
I will find it. No, this one. And then I go into here and I say...
We can make a new method. No, not there.
Aww.
We want to... No, you're almost there. basically what it's looking for is a method in the code behind called onButtonClick. So you just need to create one. It'll be void because it's not returning anything. So it needs to have a type. So it'll be public void onButtonClick.
Okay, right. I knew that. I totally knew where to put that.
Okay. And then we're going to add some extra bits that I'll explain what they mean. So inside the parentheses, we need to give it some arguments. So we're going to put object space sender.
It did not autocomplete how I thought it would. Wait, space enter? Oh, hang on. You were cutting out for me. What did you say? Did I lose her? Is it my emulator? Are you back?
It should be. Are you back?
Oh, yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So it's not center. It's sender, as in like sender of mail. Comma. Event arg. So capital E. There you go. Space E. Lowercase e. There you go. So basically this is when you create this is going to look scary, but basically when you create a button click handler in C# in Xamarin.Forms, it takes some default arguments. So one of the things it takes is the sender of type object. So basically that's saying like who sent this on button click. So in this instance, the object will always be a button. But if you've got something that's shared, you could technically share a method and then just say, hey, if the object sender is of this type, do this, otherwise do that. It's just one of those things, a bit like you get like some in some languages like Java and C#, you get like public static void main string args in the arguments. It's one of those things that's just there. You don't have to overthink it too much. It just has to be there. We want to do write rather than read because we want it to do something, I guess.
Like
but that? I've got one better for you.
Do it.
Get rid of that. I'm going to teach you how to make pop-ups. So, oh God, is it app with capital A dot current dot main page dot display alert. There you go. And then it takes 3 arguments. So the first is a string of what you want the title of the box to say. So it can be anything you like. Yeah, then a message of what you want the box to be. So it could just be e.message. Is it e.message? I think so. Yeah. Oh no. I don't know what the event args will be coming from a button. And then the next one is what you want the cancel or OK button to say.
Can you just leave it blank and it'll?
Don't think so, but you can just put OK.
Like in a string?
Yep.
Okay. You think this is proper? Why is it angry?
I don't know.
ToString.
Oh yeah, just brackets after ToString. It's a method, so you need to give it the little brackets. There you go.
Oh my God, will this work? I want it to work so badly.
Let's find out. Run it and see.
Oh, but it's
and
probably
it's even cooler.
Angry at me because I didn't do all the stuff like.
Oh, it's on button.
Because I've got this stuff. Can I just take it out, or what do you think?
Yeah.
Or is it not mad at that? I don't. Is it mad at
that's
this?
just a layout thing, so it will just move things. The page will look a bit different. Yeah, you've got a slight problem. So you either need to change that from click to click, or change your method from click to click. There you go. But what's really funky, right, is that the default iOS simulator it runs is an iPod Touch. So you get to go back to like teenage years and get an iPod Touch. I mean, it's a modern iPod Touch, so it doesn't look the same, but it's still cool.
Oh.
Look, it's loading a pretend iOS device. And notice how much quicker it is. God bless Android, but it isn't half slow the first time.
So that's the thing. Like, I really, really, really don't know if I'm ever going to be able to run anything Android-y on this Mac. It just never.
Oh, you will.
You think so?
Yeah. Even if it's something that we do offline, I'll get you running Android.
Fuel said, so quick. Quiet down, Fuel. Okay,
Hey, it
so
just takes a minute to load the first time, but it's getting there.
Napalm said iOS is only a simulator. It's not equal to an emulator. Why? It doesn't do all the things?
Never thought about it, so don't know.
Is this happening?
Your button. Where's the button gone? There you go.
Oh my!
It didn't have any value, so you've literally printed out system.event args, but that's your button.
What do you mean it doesn't have any values?
Because it doesn't, by default, event args doesn't have anything in it. So all you've done is turn it into a string. So it's just going to say to you system.event args, which is
Can I just do this?
Pop-up box.
Let's see what it does. Oh wait, is this going to hot reload, or do I have to repress the play button?
This will you have to repress the play button because it's a code change, not UI change. It might work, but
I think this is.
But yeah, no, that bit there in the middle, it's wanting text of what you display in the box, so it will need a string of some description. So you can either.
Oh, you're saying I can't do this?
No, it needs a string because it's the message that'll be in the box.
Is there something like this where I can be like E?
That's string interpolation, isn't it? So you don't need to do that. You can literally, if you want to do like
the hot reload gamble, will it? It's not gonna compile E is the wrong type. You're the wrong type, like Jack.
I mean, just put like you can put something uplifting in the box every time you click the button. It says something nice to you.
Have a lovely day. Also, plus E. Hang on, I'm gonna wait. Okay. I bet it's like something like this. Right. It's gonna happen. No.
That would just literally be text in a no, we need to redo it.
I don't know how to redo it because my stop button is still here. Do I have to stop it and then restart it?
In VS, yeah, for Mac, yeah. But it should be more responsive than there you go, see? More responsive than Android. Android just gets in a tizzy the first time. Not always.
I will try.
You're just trying to do lots at once. There you go.
Okay, so Lightjack wants me to try $. Oh, that's a lot of hard things. Okay, so you want me to do the string on the outside of that like that, and then the string like that, and then like too many quotes?
Well, there's no need to do that at the end of the day because what you're doing with E is the same as E.toString. It's just that E doesn't have anything interesting in it at this point.
Well, that is boring. Fine. Fine, I say.
You could do stuff as sender if you want.
Okay.
So if you do send, or you do sender.getType to button, or you might not even need to string. If you do sender.getType, there you go. What does that return? It might need. No, it'll be getType brackets .toString brackets. There you go. That will tell you it's a button.
Emulator, we need you in our lives. I don't know if it actually ran. I don't know how to tell.
No, need to restart. Code changes sometimes. UI changes.
Okay.
It normally
Here's the question. Okay. Everything is technically a code change, right? So shouldn't it just be picking all of it up? Like what? What?
So basically, the way they've done it is that for productivity, UI changes, they can just go, hey, what's changed on the visual tree, and then just redo it. Whereas when it's code under the hood, for whatever reason, it's just slightly more complex. I'm not the person to answer this question. Squeaky might be able to tell you.
Hang on, I want to try this real quick. Boop, 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 and then sender.getType. I want to see if, like, I don't know if that would work. Okay, stop and then restart. It's just all very, like, look at this toolbox. What the heck?
Yeah, don't worry. It just likes to give you lots of information.
Do you use that?
Not really. Some people in enterprise might, but I'm just a hobbyist.
It works. It works.
It
We
does,
can do
okay.
this. We can do this bit too. Yay! GG Late Jack. Okay, so wow, we made a method. We are, where's this guy? I want to pull him back up. He's inside a Flex layout. Not that you could tell. How do I give a background? Like, is that something on here?
Yeah. There you go. Your background color. You can do hex codes. You can do named values.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
That was instant. It was UI, so it was much quicker. There you go.
I'm gonna see up here. This one. This layout.
Yep.
That one. Yeah, that one. Oh, but what if we change this one to, instead of Flex layout, what if we change him to, oh God, I Command D'd and it, oh crap.
It's okay, just you can close that little tab. It's just taking you to the definition so you can dig into it. So it gets a bit scary.
So is there a hotkey for selecting all of the instances of the word Flex layout? Because in Visual Studio Code, Command D will do that for you.
I can't remember, but you don't need to worry, because if you start changing the name Flex layout here, it will automatically change the closing bracket equivalent.
I think it just centered the text. Did you see that? Hang on, we're going to move this over. I think it just, hang on, we're going to change it. Flex, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Hang on, I want to do a bunch.
So what they've done with MAUI is they've done something called zero reset. So basically, with Xamarin.Forms, there's some opinionated default values. So like you get default margins and spacings like that, which is why depending on the layout you pick, it puts the text in different places. But they're resetting all that in MAUI, so then you just start from zero and then you're in control. Lots of little things are improving with MAUI.
Oh, how do you do padding?
Padding. There you go.
It totally worked. And then how do we do, is this a thing? Oh, it's text color. And then how do you bold it?
I think that's font weight. Font attributes.
Bold.
Oh, there you go.
Whoopsie. But as bold as she goes. Do they have things like on the web with like 900? No, they do not. Do not have that. Okay.
MAUI might. I don't know. Like lots of things in MAUI are changing, but it's still good to get the fundamentals. Like XAML's still XAML.
They have margin? No. What's that?
I think it's because it's too. If you put space before padding, it might start to pick it up. It's just because you were trying to add one to prefix the word padding, it might not have picked it up.
Oh, okay. So 5. Yes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this button a bunch of times and we're going to be like, woo, so many buttons. And then we're going to go back up to Flex layout and we're going to change him to, so we've got our buttons and they're all like, and then see what stack is.
But if you do stack layout, it's default vertical. So there you go.
Wait.
Pretty, right?
Want to do directions. Do you know how to do directions?
Oh, in Flex layout, I've never tried, but put space first so you get autocomplete.
Okay. Direction.
There you go.
Oh God, I keep pressing enter and it doesn't. That's not how you select the thing that it's offering you.
Yeah, it's tab.
I broke everything horribly.
I've never used Flex layout. It's such a
think
CSS
it's because
layout.
Wait, is this? No, that's one word. Background.
Yeah, it's just doing weird layout things.
Column. Oh, so just don't try a column reverse and you're fine. Oh, wait, but I can't scroll on this page. Is that a thing? Like, do I need to set the whole view to scroll?
Yeah, if you you could wrap everything in a scroll view, basically. So I don't know if you remember, probably not because you've worked hard since, but no, not in the stack layout. Scroll view is its own form of layout.
Maybe we can
so you can literally make that might work.
Do you think that broke it horribly?
No, it might not actually, because it might complain about.
It's so angry. All right, let's go ahead and do what you were suggesting.
Just you need to put the open tag first, so you get autocomplete.
Okay. And you said tab, not enter.
Yep.
And then I do that, and then we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna cut it, and then we're gonna go down because we can only have one root.
Yep.
Bit. Shift tab. Oh, is there a? Oh no, I still can't scroll.
Which one did?
Scroll. Do I need to like set scroll to active or something? No.
No. It might just be that because you're adding a new. You're not making a change to an existing element. You're adding a new one. You might just need to actually stop and restart.
Oh.
But it's so quick. It doesn't matter.
How do you clean up this?
If it's, I think it's at the top. You can go to edit, format,
Edit.
and then format document.
Oh God, I've lost all properness. Format document. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Oh man, we still have no scroll. Is chat saying anything? Search for format document. Oh, nice. Wrong. Get out of here. Ship it. What's the difference between background color and background? Yeah, I was wondering about that. I wonder if it's like a way that you can add like gradients or something, or like images, like background.
Yeah, you can do images and stuff and gradients. Yeah, it takes a brush. You can give it gradients if you want. I did make a button once that had rainbows in it.
I'm gonna do background.
I just remember sending it to Maddie and Maddie getting super excited because. Like that's just a bit like you and I. My interactions with Maddie just involve us sitting on Twitter, getting super excited about something really funny, and just
she's just her personality too is so like, what the flip is forms brush? I don't know why you're giving.
Don't worry too much. It's basically a way to just don't worry too much.
I just wanted to see an example using it, but it's like giving me a get set and that's it. Like this, what is this API weirdness? Okay, hang on. Yeah, using background Xamarin. Backgrounding. You found something? You did something?
Yeah. So Maddie's colleague, boss, former boss, friend, I don't know, David Orton. Basically, he's like Mr. Xamarin Blogs. This is actually from Jake, which is Maddie's colleague. But basically, they write blog posts about all the new features in every release, and so
I wonder if it's here.
I'll post it in chat. Actually, I posted it in our private chat, but there's no secrets. It's literally me telling you that music's good to dance to. But there you go. That explains brushes.
Oh wait, so brushes. Background dark blue, border color.
So then you can start to make like pretty things like that.
Oh, hang on. This is linear gradient brush. Oh.
Then you can start to make gradient. So yeah, like it's like, I mean, to a CSS person, this is probably quite intuitive. To me, I'm like, yeah.
Border color. We're still not using, like this is like frame.background. Is that the exact same as saying like the attribute of background? Like, am I assuming this is this?
Because basically what there's in most XAML tags, you've got attributes, and that's how you specify things on it. Like in CSS, you've got attributes on the pieces. But what you sometimes have to do is you need to create sub pieces inside of that, which are hang on, scroll down a little bit to one of the sample boxes. Keep going, stop. So sometimes what you need when you're defining something is to actually set something that's a whole tag in itself with its own attributes. So that's why you've got frame.background, because inside of that, you're then saying, hey, I want to create a linear gradient brush, because the attributes like start point, end point, and the colors to use are attributes on the linear gradient brush and not the frame. So you just have to, it's just like jigsaw pieces, basically.
Do you think frame is like a div?
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Where was format?
Oh, under edit.
Edit.
Format document. So it's Control-I is the shortcut.
I don't think it did it.
That's Mac control, not Windows control.
I want to see, where's my emulator? I'm going to pull up chat so I can see you all again. Comments. Then I want to bring up my emulator. Oh, that is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so we've got our little test frame in here, but what I wanted to do was see if I could down here with our buttons. Where are my buttons? Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's just so hard to...
You made a lot of buttons.
Well, it's so hard for me to I don't know if it's the code coloring. Like, is your code usually a little bit like, I feel like I'm missing some colors and like where it's plopping in these.
Yeah. I like you've picked a really not poor because it was personal preference, but you'll find some of the other themes have much more contrast between the names and the attributes, which make it. It was under text editor color theme. So a little bit down. There you go.
Okay, let's see, because I want some more like the attributes and stuff to be. I think that's a little different. Oh, there, we're going there. Okay, so, I have to, darn it. Dang it. I know, you're all probably like, really, Alyssa? I know, color theme, go back
Absolutely not. To me, these kind of experiences are just the perfect streams where you just send the project managers for these things a link and go, hey, look at all these pain points that someone had that's new to it. They love it. It's like the best gift you can give project managers. It's like, literally, I think the best gift I could ever give Maddie ever is like, hey, I tried to use this. It didn't work properly. Here's a video.
Let's see. Okay, so on this, I can't do the last one because our scroll view is still not working. So I'm going to do the first one of background. And I want to see if like giving it a different, let's make it purple. I want to see if we can like see a difference. I'm going to make you a little bit shorter. Hi, chat.
Might clash because you've got background and background color.
Everything is angry. Well, I see purple now, and background color just is kind of being ignored. Interesting. I would have thought that in some way we would have seen both, or that the second one would override it.
Because you're doing it as a color, it's applying it to exactly the same thing.
Yeah, there's back to blue. Okay, so
but, I mean that was instant. It's pretty cool.
So up there on frame, we did this. We did something weird where it was like frame dot background instead of background equals. So under those same rights, shouldn't I be able to do like button dot background, or am I just way out of the thinking process of proper background?
I don't know if it might not exist as a button dot background. No.
Then I want to. Oh, it's not.
How did you? Let me remember how you do gradients on buttons.
Detachable property background was not found on button type. Oh, the member background is not recognized nor accessible. So it's weird because it's like an attribute for a button, but not a member.
Yeah.
I personally use the synthwave and Andromeda. I convert it over from VS Code. There's a lot of words that I don't know.
I know what it might be. I think it will work. It just needs to be inside of the button. So where you've got the first button tag, you need to do it after that, not outside of it.
Where I have the first button tag, I need to do it.
So you've got button.background, then you've got button. What you need to do is have it so that the button like has an opening and closing tag like that. Yeah, and then it will go inside of that.
Button. I want you to close that button. And then go inside of here and be like, that. Are you so angry? But it doesn't have a value. I'm trying to give it a value.
Yeah. You're getting there.
So now if I go up to the
background, you can then do the
linear gradient.
Yeah.
I'm going to copy it because we were so happy with that lime green. We're like, we want that.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Right? That's exactly where we're going. This one? Yes.
Yep.
Good lordy. Oh my God, we did it! Wait, okay. Don't think I'm crazy. We're gonna try one more thing. Hold it. Hang on.
I think you're crazy. Our unique brains are absolute gold dust, and there's nothing to say about us.
Okay, I think we can do it. Oh, I don't know. I'm probably gonna break it horribly. Here we go.
It's okay.
Dot.
This is the most out there UI I've ever done, and I'm here for it.
Ah! Can I do it? Tell me I can do it.
That I don't know.
Mother of anger. Do you see all this anger? Text color does not support values of type linear gradient brush. Well, you know what? That's a darn shame. Hang on. We're going to Google it. Chat, feel free to correct me. I'm going to make sure you're seeable. Make sure you're seeable. Okay. Using gradient on text Xamarin.Forms. Yes, that's what I was going to. Gradient label control. Oh, gradients and brushes. So maybe, isn't this the exact same thing that you just linked me to? Yes, it is. Thinking with my brain. Gradient label control. Oh yeah, that's that. That's what we want. That. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That might not be available out of the box, though. That might be where you have to start doing custom stuff that I'll tell you about.
What does that mean?
So, do you remember I was saying earlier that normally you don't have to worry about Android and iOS? You just use the shared code, and then it's only when you want to do specific things on the platform that,
yes.
For example, some things, they have to be like, the way you'd actually achieve them on that platform. They can do the same feature, but loaded differently. This is an example of what we call a custom render, which is exactly that. The way that you get the gradient colors to work on iOS and Android in their different platform code is unique. So you'd have to create a render at the shared level, then create ones that implement it at the platform levels, and then tell it, hey, in Android, this is how you do it. In iOS, this is how you do it.
Oh, cool. Because this is an iOS renderer. And then down here, like you were saying, this one's for Android. To Android. Cool. Oh, okay. I'm going to add this to my, hang on. I want to add this to my learning.net next steps for my, can I call this like a Xamarin.Forms project? What do I call this?
Yep. Xamarin.Forms.
Xamarin.Forms.
It's a weird convention thing, but it's technically what it's called. Yeah, renders can get a bit scary, but sometimes it's just easier for someone else to go, here, this is the code that you need, and then you just paste it in the right places, and it's like, oh, look, it works.
Different renderer for iOS, Android. And I'm going to link to it. Actually, I'm going to be like, add colored text. Here's the link. Perfect. I cannot tell you how much fun I had today, and we got so far. I feel like it might be a little sad because I've done a lot. Like I've done a lot of different things in the .NET space. And this was the, I don't want to make people mad, easiest to get the farthest with. And it kind of makes me sad because like, it's not like if you're like looking forward, because everyone keeps telling me, because I asked like a couple months ago, I was like, should I learn Xamarin.Forms? And then that way I have this like backlog of like knowledge of how it was. And then going forward, like I can like switch it over to Maui. And a lot of people are like, no, just learn Maui. But here's the problem. A lot of this stuff is not documented yet for Maui. I love Maui. I love the team. I love what they're doing. But there are so many times where I look up something super, super basic. Like I remember at one point that at the time there wasn't docs on buttons. And I was trying to find how to do just a button in Maui. Like, and it didn't exist. And so like this, it's so powerful. Like I was just like, especially with like the drop down of like what's in the API and like what I'm able to do. Like, and I'm coming at it from like a JavaScript like world. So I'm like, oh, like, does it have a background? Does it have text color? Does it have, and like, I'm able to find that. That's powerful, right?
Yeah. So it's a bit of an over dramatic dramatization analogy, but it's a bit like you have to go through the Bermuda Triangle to appreciate the Caribbean island you land on. Like, Xamarin.Forms is wonderful. Like it's my default for making it any mobile app. But there's things that Maui will be a lot easier. So I understand why some people say wait for Maui, but Maui's a way off yet. It can't hurt to learn the basics, and there'll be little things later on that are so much easier that we can be like, oh.
Well, and don't you think there's going to be a lot of crossover? Like, because as I'm trying to learn Maui, a lot of maybe the syntax or a lot of the elements, they're looking the same. So like if I am like brand new to .NET, like it doesn't seem like a waste of time to learn Xamarin. I don't know.
Absolutely not. No. A lot of, there'll be some things that will be slightly different where because it's literally Xamarin.Forms evolution, basically. I think Xamarin.Forms, the latest version you'll ever get is 5. And then as of Xamarin.Forms 6, technically it's Maui. There's a lot of improvements that make it so much better. But there's also still the fundamentals that are the same. You still have to think about things in a mobile way, like, connectivity, like thinking about the fact that a mobile device goes offline or remembering it's got a smaller UI screen space and all that stuff. But that's no different between Maui and Xamarin.Forms. So if you're wanting to learn this stuff, no reason not to learn it now.
No, and it just was so easy to get a lot farther than some of the other spaces.
Yeah, well, so the beautiful thing is between a lot of it has come post acquisition in 2016, but like the team, like Maddie and David and people, have done so much work into improving the productivity and onboarding experience. And it shows, like, the fact that it literally said to you, hey, you need an Android emulator. Here, have a pop-up box with pre-populated values. You could literally, if you really wanted to, just click OK and just be done. Like, all that stuff. It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, I am so excited because I feel like, I don't know, I just, even the docs and, you know, like the resources for things like Xamarin.Forms, it's a lot right now, currently easier to find.
Oh yeah, because it's a lot older, isn't it? Like, it's not even, like, Maui's not even in GA until at some point, and I think it's in May that I saw on Twitter.
I was gonna say, I thought it was, it's May that, like, is it GA or RC, or when is RC?
Yeah, RC is in April at some point, and GA is in May. Okay. I have a rough idea of dates, but I'm just going to pretend I don't know because I can't remember what's NDA and what's not. So it's just
So for, like, my next, like, steps in Maui, is it possible to use Visual Studio in Mac for Maui, or do I keep doing Visual Studio Code like I've been doing? I'm confused. Like, can I open it or no?
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you'd use Visual Studio just because it's a full IDE rather than a text editor, so it's easier. But as I said, because of feature parity problems, I'm not sure how far you can get with it on a Mac. I know there's discussions recently about how you're on stable Visual Studio, so it's okay. But like in some preview versions of Visual Studio for Mac, they've removed Maui support but added back Xamarin support because it's more stable, and stuff's changing all the time.
So it's GA now. Does GA come before?
Yeah,
RC?
it's just not publicly. Yeah, it's not publicly. It's technically RC at the moment. It's not publicly GA until they scream it from the rafters next month. But yeah, you can. But again, but the thing is, that's still Visual Studio for Windows. Like, Mac's there, but it's not there. Like, I've seen the roadmap. I can't say too much, but it's not a secret that they are not a level. It's not as soon as Visual Studio for Windows comes out with Maui, so does Mac.
Okay. But eventually, like, that's going to be the road to take is using it with Visual Studio. Okay.
Like, yeah, eventually Visual Studio for Mac will support Maui. It's just Windows is a little further ahead right now.
Napalm said, I thought Maui only worked in Mac version preview. That's how I'm running it currently. So, I haven't tried.
No, you're in 2019 standard. He's talking about 2022 preview and kind of. But again, there's workarounds like Sam was talking to you about. People probably don't even realize who Sam is, but Sam's your colleague who knows about this stuff. But there are workarounds if you use command line tools. But honestly, it's so painful. As a beginner who really doesn't need to know this stuff, I'd actually say it's kind of to your brain to just not worry about it for now.
I'm so grateful for you,
as someone who's like similarly on the same kind of brain wavelength. For me, I just stick to Windows for Maui because it just works better out of the box, and quite frankly, the less friction, the better, in my opinion.
Well, the way that it was, coming from JavaScript and being used to Visual Studio Code, like, being able to, like, have CM, like, on my Mac show me in VS Code how to open up a Maui app and then run it with my terminal, I was like, oh my God, this is just like web development. Like,
yeah,
so I know
it's possible, but I think you need an extension to get the emulators running, and like building it is not the same as running it on an emulator or a simulator. And it is possible, but like I said, because being completely transparent, I'm a hobbyist who gets imposter syndrome really badly. The less friction, the better. I've avoided Mac because it's more painful. Like, I've just stuck to
honestly,
Windows. So
that's why I was scared.
I'm sure Sam is absolutely right. Like, I trust Sam when it comes to this stuff. If Sam tells you it's possible, I just would not sit here and tell you how to do it. Because
when you were like, I stick to PC for ease, I'm like, I kind of like get like really scared on PC because it's just so everything's foreign. And so I'm like, oh Lord, where are we? So it's funny where your safe place is, because mine is definitely on Mac.
Well, no, so for 95% of development, my safe place is a Mac. It's just that for Maui stuff, my safe place is Windows because it's much more further along. And Visual Studio 2022 for Windows preview has Maui out of the box. You can start a new Maui project. It'll give you a nice onboarding experience. And
so, do you think for like doing mobile development on Maui, I'll be able to do the same things where like I create a layout and then a button, and then I can even do things like background on that button? Like, you think that kind of stuff?
Well, that stuff's the same. Maui is an evolution of Forms, so a lot of the stuff that you know and love already, like being able to do those buttons and the gradients and stuff, that's not changing. It's just that some stuff will become a lot easier, like custom code for the different platforms. You can now do handlers, but I'm not going to blow your mind with that. Like,
wait, is a handler like different from a renderer?
Yeah, handlers is supposed to be better, and I will find a video about it that Gerald did. Because
I want to make a note of that.
Gerald works on the Xamarin.Forms team. He's basically sort of leading up the Xamarin.Forms work while other people are doing stuff from an engineering perspective. So he does really, really helpful videos on this stuff.
Renderer. Okay. I'm making a note that I need to learn about handlers versus renderers, and also
I wouldn't worry too much at the moment because renderers will still work on Maui because they've supported it. It's just handlers, from what I hear, is supposed to be easier. But not to be biased because he's also my friend, but Gerald happens to be like makes amazing.
What's his Twitter handle?
At JF for Slaus. He's Dutch, so good luck spelling that. I put the link in chat for the stream.
Did you? Perfect. Oh my gosh, I typed in JF and he's the Twitter search, and he's the first.
Yeah.
The first one.
So Gerald makes like at least twice a week. He makes videos on YouTube mainly focused on Maui. But when it comes to explaining it in a really easy to understand way, Gerald is the guy.
Awesome. Well,
there's James as well, but James doesn't post as regularly as Gerald does.
James, what's his last name?
Montemagno.
Montemagno, yes.
He's the principal program manager lead at Microsoft for. It's kind of like .NET community now, so he does a lot more than just Xamarin stuff. But he used to be a developer evangelist at Xamarin pre-acquisition, and he was very good at his job. So he pretty much just became the face of Xamarin. But when it comes to making videos about this stuff, James makes really good videos every now and then. Like, he doesn't produce as frequently, whereas like Gerald just churns out videos like multiple times a week, and they're absolute gold.
Oh, I love that. This is such like the best resources, because I'm on all of it. I'm like, there was when I was downloading Visual Studio, it had this weird pop-up like during the installer, and it was like, join this mailing list to like get better at ASP.NET Core, and I was like, I need to do that. Like so any type of goodies like this I appreciate. Well, thank you.
No, if you like videos, that's true. Yeah. Well, so Merge Conflict is a good podcast, but it's a podcast. Like, you're not going to. It's interesting when you know the topic, but I wouldn't necessarily say it won't be a little bit overwhelming to newcomers. Especially because they released episode 300 yesterday. So by this point, they've they get into almost in-depth niche about things. It's a fantastic podcast. I just wouldn't necessarily say it won't be a bit overwhelming to newcomers.
Okay. Cool.
And as someone who can edit their episode descriptions and was their first. So do you remember we were talking last week in that session this week?
And they someone made you have access to like edit their blog, right?
Yeah. So that was James who gave me access to edit his blogs. But Merge Conflict is a podcast that I became the first Patreon supporter of, which is why I've got that handwritten card that I made my shrine around. So it all links together. So yeah, Merge Conflict's a great podcast. I would just argue that it's maybe a little bit too niche, and it would be a little bit overwhelming at first, especially because James's co-host is hands down one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He made the sequel, Frank Kruger. He made amongst other many things he's done. He made the SQLite.NET package for SQL in .NET that like millions of people use.
Frank.
He's Preclarum on Twitter. He's got a strange username.
Maybe the
But yeah, so Merge Conflict is a fascinating podcast. I would just argue that maybe to a beginner it'll be a little bit intimidating.
Okay. Napalm said Frank is a genius talking about writing his own WASM compilers.
Oh yeah.
Yikes.
He writes neural networks.
I'm over here like this button gradient isn't working.
Hey, I'm in your camp. Don't worry about it. Like I write code for fun every now and then.
Oh, okay. So I'm like following these people on Twitter as we talk about them, because I feel like a lot of people like just the basics, like people in this community, I still haven't learned who they are. So
oh yeah. But no, if you're gonna if you want to understand Maui better, especially from a mobile perspective, and just very, you know, bite-sized pieces about a specific topic where you can just look back through the history and go, oh, this is interesting. Gerald is where it's at.
Perfect. Okay.
He's gone from like a few hundred subscribers on YouTube to over 10,000 in like a year and a bit, because he's really good at this stuff.
I posted that one, the link to the customizing controllers video, just so everyone can see him.
One of the things I really like about Gerald, and like he is my friend, so it might sound biased, but I do actually think his content is great, is that he starts a new Maui project every video. He starts a new Maui project, so you see exactly what you get out of the box. Then he just applies the changes to it as part of the video, so you can see what he's doing. And then
I'm so excited. This is such good. Thank you, Luce. Because like I was like, I need to make basics do happen. Okay.
It's okay. Was it 2019 Microsoft Build? One of the first ones that went virtual. Gerald and I did like a 2-hour stream together on Twitch, on the Microsoft Developer Twitch and YouTube. We were just making stuff. I've met him a few times in person. Like, he is my friend, so I could be biased, but like most people would agree, he does the best Maui content for learning.
I just that as chat said,
he's also super nice. If you have any questions, like message him and he will help you.
Be like, so about this code.
Honestly, he's lovely.
Oh, well, awesome. I really appreciate you, Luce. This was amazing. And
anytime.
Also, a lot less overwhelming than I have been in the past, walking away from a new .NET subject. So thank you for that.
Hey, so the way I look at it, right, is that, and I'm very open about this, I've said this to you before, is that I will take the easy option. Like, I get overwhelmed very easily. So the fact that I've chosen to be this passionate about Xamarin.Forms to the point that I would probably get a tattoo of it if it wasn't changing logos. Like, I love this product. And the reason why I love it and why I make things with it and why I do talks about it and videos and blog posts and streams is it's easy.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm off next week, but we'll be back the week after. Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. We're gonna sign off for today, but I think Luce and I for sure need to do more together because she's a brilliant teacher. Brilliant.
I mean, we need to learn things. We need to do ADHD discussions. Like, we need to start a video podcast. We will just take over the world.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree with you. There's so many topics that we have, and I'm pretty sure as we get to like know more about each other, there'll be even more. So I love it.
The list is endless. Like, maybe don't stick us in a room together for a day because we'll come out with about a week's worth of content. But thanks for hanging out, chat.
Thanks, chat, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.